Hi guys. I think I'm gonna start vlogging again. This is the intro. Obviously, it's been a couple weeks since I've vlogged, but today is the first day. It's Tuesday, February, I almost said January, February 4th. And today's the first day I actually feel like reading in about a month. So I'm gonna run with that and I'm gonna try to vlog and we'll see how this goes. January, as you have already seen, because I'm going to film my January wrap up today of the whole 2 books I read in January. And I forgot to mention in my February TBR, maybe I'll mention it in my January wrap up. But if you didn't watch that, which more people watch my wrap ups than my vlogs and stuff, but I didn't pick oh my God, a booktube darling to read this month because I've been so slumpy and having to deal with a lot of personal stuff to where I don't feel like reading. So I wasn't going to pick a book that I would have to read in order to keep things going. So I'm taking a break this month and I'll pick it back up in March, hopefully. March is very busy at the very beginning, but hopefully I'll be able to do that. But yeah, so I've just got the kind of tentative TBR. So I think I'm going to pick up one of the books. Like, I know already I'm going to be reading Ladder to the Sky, like I said, with Vicky. We're starting that, I think, in a couple of days. I think on the 7th or 8th, she said she's trying to finish one of her carryover books from January 1st, which is totally fine. Because I don't think Vicky reads multiple books at once very often. I do it all the time. I think she prefers to try to read one at a time until they're done, like one physical, one audio, something like that. But yeah, and then I'm going to read The Wheel of Time this month. After seeing my TBR, Cindy got a hold of me. And Cindy and I literally have buddy read almost every single month for like the past 6, 7, 8 months. Pretty damn near. Because what was the first? I can't remember the first book we buddy read together. I can't remember. Cindy, if you remember, comment, because I can't remember what it was. I know we attempted to read The Black Prison by Brent Weeks with Monica as well. And Cindy dropped out because she just couldn't get into it. And Monica and I stopped like almost 200 pages in. We're going to revisit it. But that was like when I was starting to read fantasy. Now I feel a little bit better to where maybe I could give it a better shot. But Cindy and I had buddy read something before that, and I can't remember what it was. Like, I'm sure if I looked through my Goodreads through my books that I would figure it out, but I can't remember which one it was. But we buddy read a lot. We're buddy reading the Lycanius trilogy right now, or we just finished book 2. I think we'll pick up book 3 in March or April, maybe March. I have to buy it first. And God, we've buddy read quite a few together. I just can't remember what the first one was. And I'm like looking at my shelves and we buddy read The Huntress. The Huntress wasn't the first one, I don't think. Maybe it was. Was The Huntress the first one? But I know we buddy read The Huntress. We've done the Lycanius trilogy. I thought there was more than that we've buddy read, but we've buddy read quite a few. At least, or it seems like it's been almost every month, which is fine because she keeps me motivated. But she wants to read The Wheel of Time as well. I think she says she has all the books. I only have book 1, so we're going to start. She's reading it on her Kobo, which I think is an e-reader. So it's going to be, I think we're going to do by chapters because Vicky and I learned that the hard way. When you have different versions or different editions of the book, the pages don't always line up. And that happened to us with The Ruins because when we read The Ruins, it was, there was no chapter breaks and our pages were different because she had a hardcover and I had a paperback. And I actually have the ebook and I'd paid for it and it matched up so infrequently that we're like, well, let's just do chapters. But then there was no fucking chapters. So we tried to get the same edition so we could stop on the same pages. It was a pain in the butt. We learned that the hard way. Oh, Leviathan Wakes. Leviathan Wakes. That was it. That was the first book I buddy read with Cindy, was Leviathan Wakes. I just looked up and saw it. Leviathan Wakes was the first one I believe we read together, which we have book 2. We need to plan to read that one. But I've been buddy reading almost every month with her. Sometimes we take a month off, like if I have a big buddy read with Vicky, because Vicky and I do every other month. And it's nice because I think Cindy seriously trolls my TBRs, finds something that I'm planning to read and be like, hey, let's buddy read it, which is fine. It keeps me motivated. And I like discussing books as I read them, so it helps. But she wants to do Wheel of Time, so we're going to start that on Friday. Today's Tuesday. Normally Tuesday's when I end my vlogs, but since I'm in the mood to read today, I decided I would start now so that I can get it going and and then I'll just post it next Friday, so it'll be a really long vlog, which is fine. I guess I could post it next Tuesday and then post something else on Friday and then, kind of get back on the swing and think, I'll figure it out. You guys don't care about the logistics. But yeah, And for this week, like, it is hell week at work. So it is one of the hardest weeks at work for my hanging tags. Like, we have 13,000 tags we have to hang tonight. Not looking forward to that. My mom wants me to come visit, which I think since I've been doing BookTube, I haven't really visited my mom all that much. Like, last year in 2019, I only went and spent the night out there on a Wednesday, I think twice. And one of the times I went out there was 4th of July, which is right. We stayed the night there before we left for California. So, like, I've been a bad daughter. But usually since I'm off Thursday, Fridays, I did it all of 2018. On Wednesdays, I would, after my graveyard shift, I'd either come home and nap or I just go right out to my mom's. It's about a 45-minute drive for me, 40-minute drive. And I go to my mom's and like hang out with her, spend the night, and just spend some one-on-one time with my mom. And, you know, because she's disabled now because she has fibromyalgia, so she hasn't worked in quite a few years. And so it keeps her entertained because her husband still works. So she's not bored. And we just sit there and hang out. And it's kind of a chill thing for me. It's a break. I get a break from the kids. Matt's off on Wednesday, so it forces him to do all the grunt work. And you know, it's been kind of nice. And she wants me to come out, though it's trying to fucking snow again. Though it's not supposed to stick, and it's not sticking. But it's supposed to turn to rain. And my mom, where she's at, she's like a little bit higher elevation. So if she's got snow, I'm not going. But she wants me to go. If I go, then I'll get video of her Frenchies. My mom has 2 French bulldogs, Angel and Edgar, and they are fucking adorable. Angel's kind of a butt. She's really particular. She's definitely a teenager and she acts like one. Yeah, but she's kind of a shit. But she loves me. Like, I've been around her since she was a pup. And so when I come over, she follows me around and lays with me all the time. And Edgar is only 8 months old, but he's big. He's almost bigger than Angel. And he is definitely my mom's, whereas Angel's more my stepdad. So they're adorable. They're fucking cute. And Edgar's got a great personality. He's hilarious. And he just follows my mom around everywhere. But if I go, I'll try to get footage of my mom's Frenchies because they are super fucking cute. But yeah, I do like going out there because it's just quiet and I just get to chill and hang out with my mom. And we just watch trashy TV or watch movies and just sit there. She usually tries to make me my favorite dinner. Like, it's just, yeah, it's awesome. So actually, that's a good idea. If I go tomorrow, maybe I'll force her to make the mustard chicken with the fried potatoes. That's an idea. I'll even buy her the shit to make it. I don't care. But yeah, that's my really long-winded update. I need to film my January wrap-up. I already said that. Pretty sure I already said that. So I'm going to do that here in a minute. And then I'm going to try to read. I think I'm going to pick up The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I'm like looking at my T-bar pile. It's between that one or Truth Be Told. Those are the ones I'm kind of in the mood for. I think I'm going to pick up The Sundown Motel because I know Simone St. James writing. And hopefully I'll be able to get back into it. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick that up. Try to read at least 50 pages, maybe 100 before I go into sack out mode. Because I do that on Tuesdays because I have to go to bed early. So I like to just relax and do absolutely nothing if I can. So my body's nice and calm so I can go to sleep. Especially for tonight because it's going to be such an insane night tonight at work. But yeah, that's my little update. Other than that, I've got nothing going on this week. My boss has been super sweet, and with everything I've got going on, he's letting me take extra days off next week, so I'm only going to work Saturday and Sunday and Monday through Friday off, which I really appreciate him doing. So that'll be nice to have an extra break so that I can just decompress. Hopefully I can get a lot of reading done next week. That would be nice too. We'll see how it goes, especially since I'll have 2 buddy reads going by that time. So, and I think Cindy and I are going to do chapters for the Wheel of Time, like 1 to 2 chapters a day. I think 2 chapters a day, maybe 3, depending, because it's a big chunky book. And with Vicky and I, we're just doing our 50 pages a day like normal. Granted, A Ladder to the Sky is a lot shorter than Heart's Invisible Fury, so it shouldn't be too hard to get through. But yeah, that's my little update. I've rambled on for almost 10 fucking minutes, so you're welcome. Trying to stay positive, I feel a little better now that I've got some things under control in regards to my dad. I know a lot of you have expressed concern and have been really kind, and I really appreciate it. And like showing support, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I'm grateful that you guys are understanding because with my OCD and anxiety, like if I don't post at least once a week, I get the anxiety like, I'm not a big channel anyways, but in order to gain subscribers and to grow, you have to post on a regular basis. Like, as I guess YouTube algorithms are, I don't understand it, but you have to upload on a regular basis so that your videos go into people's suggested and stuff like that. And I don't want to be very big, but I guess my goal would be like 1,000. To hit 1,000, I don't care if I go more than that. Then I'll feel a little bit accomplished, I guess, which sounds stupid or silly. Like it's not a big deal. This is a hobby for me. But yeah. And the thing is with me is that part of the reason I know why I don't grow very much is my quality of videos. You guys are all really nice and you like what I post, but I'm not like Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reigns or Lala, you know, from Books and Lala. Like I don't have like a really fancy camera. I'm vlogging on my fucking phone right now. And my last couple of videos with my ring light, I've been filming them on my phone instead of my tiny digital camera because I've gotten so used to seeing myself and knowing where my angles are now that I almost don't want to film on my camera anymore because I can't see myself. There's no viewfinder. It's just guessing and hoping that I'm in frame. And my ring light has an attachment for a phone, so I think it's used for like beauty gurus and stuff like that. Like it's a very small ring light. So at least I fixed my lighting issue. But like with audio, I'm a loud talker anyways. If I were to have a mic, it would sound like I was screaming in your ear and you'd have to turn it way down. So my microphones that are already built into my phone or the camera are good enough. I will never get a mic system. Like I just don't care enough to spend the money to do that. I mean, I do love posting videos and stuff, but my audio isn't terrible. Nobody's made comments about it. I'm a very loud speaker. My voice is just naturally loud. So that helps. I'm not a very soft-spoken person. But as for that, like, I live in a tiny apartment. I don't have a fancy setup like a lot of these booktubers do. Hell, even Mel to the Any films on her bed. I mean, granted, the way she sits, it would be like me sitting on this side of the bed where you could see my shelves in the background. But I only have one shelf. I live in a tiny apartment. So I'm not trying to pretend to be anything I'm not. So I'm just kind of... I really don't care, but 1,000 would be nice. That would be like my end goal. Anything more than that would be a bonus. But I don't know. I like where you feel like you're just sitting with that person and having a conversation with them more than like a set up scripted format. Granted, a lot of my favorite booktubers don't sound scripted, but they're very practiced in what they do and have been doing it a very long time. And their subscriber count is so high that they feel the need to put out high quality content. I'm also never going to force myself to read for content. Like if I don't feel like reading, I'm not going to. Reading is fun for me. It's an escape. I'm not going to make it a job because then you lose the fun in it, for me anyways. So, you know, this is just fun for me, and I'm glad with I think I have close to 560. Glad to have all of you. You guys are all great, and I love interacting with all of you. You guys, you know, I see the same people commenting all the time, and it makes it fun. And I'm glad you guys are here, even though it's snow. Even though there's not a whole bunch of you, and that's fine by me. I try not to look at numbers because numbers is what stresses people out. I'm just happy there's 500 of you. But yeah, I don't even know why I went on that tangent. Makes really no sense at why I did that. I don't really remember. Oh, maybe it's because my content has been kind of up and down. But I have managed to post at least once a week. So the next video going up will be on Friday, and which this video won't be up yet, so you have already seen it, will be my tiny January wrap up. And then after that, I think on maybe Tuesday I'll do this vlog so that it'll be a full week. And then on Friday I'll do a regular video. And then maybe just switch it to like that. And then, so that'll be, then this vlog will go up. And then I think after that, I think I'm going to do an unhaul. And then that way I have room for books that I do want to read. Why are you staring at me? Herman is staring at me and there's no reason he's already been fed. Anyways, I'm going now. It's been 15 minutes. I need to film my wrap up so that I can get to reading. So hopefully I'll let you know how it goes. Hey guys, happy Friday. I haven't vlogged in 2 days because Wednesdays don't exist in my world, like I've said before. And yesterday was just really busy. Wednesday, something that is going on in my personal life, like there was some shit that hit the fan. So I was dealing a lot with that. And yeah, it's just been a week. So let's see, if you want to talk books, because, okay, of course, I didn't film my wrap-up like I said I was going to on Tuesday because I decided to be a sack of shit instead. So I'm actually getting ready to film right now, and it won't be a long video because I read 2 books in January. So, yeah, January was a shit month. Is it 2021 yet? Because I'm ready. But if you're going to go with books that I'm currently reading, I actually have been reading, and I have felt a little bit more like I want to read. There was some stuff that's going on, like with my dad and all that, like some stuff has happened to where I'm feeling a little bit more relief. I mean, I'm far from over and done with it. I'm far from out of the woods with anything yet, but things have started to move, so I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. But as far as my reading goes, and there's something got in my book. I started the Sundown Motel. Whoa, I've been out of practice. Yeah, Sundown Motel. So this one, I am 100 pages in, I think. Of course, I don't have, yeah, 102. Where is the cover for that? Over here. Okay, yeah, so the cover looks like this. I have the cover off, of course, because I don't read with dust jackets on. It's burdensome. But yes, I'm currently reading that book. I'm 100 pages in. I haven't read any of it today, but I did start it. I didn't start it on Tuesday like I said I was going to. I started it on Wednesday, but I have started it, and I'm really loving it. It is so good. Now, it's written by Simone St. James, and she wrote The Broken Girls, which came out in 2018, I think. I think it came out in 2018, late 2018. It was also a Book of the Month pick, and I read it and loved it. She does dual timelines, one in the past and one in the present or current present or close to. Like this one has a timeline in 1982 and one in 2017. And The Broken Girls, I think it's 1952 and 2014. Something like that. I know it's 2014. I believe it's 1952. I know it's in the 50s. And so she's really good at writing dual timelines. And this one, like I had said before in my previous clip, I was worried that it's going to be too similar to The Broken Girls, and it's not. It is, but it isn't. The dual timelines are similar. The fact that she's doing dual timelines is very similar, but the story is not. In The Broken Girls, there was a murder that had happened, and in the present timeline, the main character's sister had been murdered and was on the grounds of this rundown building that used to be used as a girls' dormitory, like for a boarding school. And they were trying to figure out who killed her. And there was a little bit of a ghost story that was mingled in, like it was said to be haunted. And then you go back into the 1950s timeline when the school was open, and you have 4 female friends and their friendship and all that stuff. And one of the friends goes missing. So that's kind of how they tie in together. And in the end, like the ending of that was good. It wasn't as satisfying. Like I wanted a little bit more paranormal. This one has a lot more paranormal in it. So it's about a girl named Carly who in the present timeline, 2017, she's trying to find out what happened to her Aunt Viv, who disappeared at the Sundown Motel during her graveyard shift in 1982. So the 1982 perspective is Viv, and her aunt, and she's 20. And I think both women are 20. They're just in their own separate timelines. And she never knew her aunt. She died before she was born or disappeared before she was born. So she's trying to figure out, she assumes she's dead. So she's trying to figure out what happened to her. Is her ghost still at the Sundown Motel? Like, what's going on? So she goes and takes a job as a graveyard shift clerk to try to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of paranormal stuff that's happening, way more than The Broken Girls, and I'm really loving it. It was really engaging right from the beginning. It hooked me right away. I'm really loving it. I'm hoping to get through it pretty quick. We'll see how it goes, because I've started 2 buddy reads today. So there's that. I've already read, where did I put them? Oh, bad planning. I've already started one. Vicky and I have started our A Ladder to the Sky buddy read. So I read 50 pages today, so I'm on page 56. She hasn't started it, or no, this morning when I messaged her, she was on page 14 and she was going to get back to me once she finished the 50, and I told her when I stopped. I love John Boyne's writing. I've missed it so much, and this is his latest release, came out in 2018. It's just so fucking good, the way he writes. And there's a little bit of World War II history in this one, which I didn't know. Eric, I need to look up how to pronounce that correctly. He's one of the main characters, and he is in his 60s, because this takes place in 1988. He's a gay man in his 60s, and he lived in Germany, and it took place in Germany, or part of this takes place in Germany, but he lived in Germany during the start of World War II, and so he worked for the Nazis and stuff, so there's a little bit of tie in there. What is going on with my hair? Anyways. And then you met Maurice is his name, and he's supposed to be the main protagonist slash antagonist, to where he's the one that's going to write the big story, because he will jump on anybody for fame, and that's what it talks about in the Dust Jacket. So we've met him. He is an assistant to Eirik, I'm bad. I need to look up how to pronounce that name. But he is his assistant right now, and he's getting him to talk about his time during the war. And I think this is the story he's going to write to betray him, and in order to get famous, because nobody knows this history, and Eirik himself is a famous author. So I'm looking forward to this because I love John Boyne's writing and I've missed it. I'm glad. And then Cindy wanted to buddy read with me because we buddy read almost every fucking month, and we're going to read The Eye of the World. Wow. Wow, lighting. Okay, that's better. We're going to read The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Robert Jordan. This is book 1 in the Wheel of Time series. This is monstrous. I mentioned it in my TBR. It is like 700 and something pages. She's reading on an e-reader. It starts with a K, not a Kindle, like a Kobo, I think. That's what she's reading on. So she's done a breakdown for us because her formatting is very different than mine. Like, our page numbers are different. We were going to do chapters, and that's kind of how she's broken it down. So we're just going to go by that. I need to go in and save the picture off my Instagram DMs so that I can have it so I know where I'm at. But if we read every day and we don't skip, we'll finish on the last day of February, which is perfect. And I have to because I'm going on vacation from March 3rd to the 9th. I'm going to Vegas with one of my best friends to go to a supernatural convention. So I won't be reading during that week, obviously. So I need to get this done before I leave. So I haven't read my Eye of the World yet. So I haven't started it yet. I'm a little nervous. These are Bible pages and it's really thin and scary. But I have read, that's the only thing I've read today is my Ladder of the Sky pages. I do want to read some of the Sundown Motel today. But today's really busy. I had to go run errands. It's now 12:30. My kids get out in 2 hours. Once Lucas gets off the bus, then I have to go pick up Danielle from school because my dumbass daughter twisted her ankle really bad because she was wearing boots for the first time and thought running in boots on tile floor in the school was a good idea. She twisted her ankle pretty bad. She's on crutches and has a boot. Should take about 2 weeks to heal. She's milking it because she's almost 12. And the 2 weeks are up on her birthday. So that's fitting. So I have to go pick her up because she walks to and from school every day and she can't really walk in crutches. I mean, she could, but she's got a heavy ass backpack and shit. So I guess I'll go pick her up from school. But I got to wait for my son to get home because the timing, like the pickup and drop off at any school is like hell on earth. And the time I would spend waiting up there, Lucas would be getting dropped off down here. So I'm not fighting it. I'm going to wait till after Lucas gets dropped off because by the time he's home, the middle school will be all cleared out and I can just go swing in, pick her up and leave. So yeah, that is my little update. I need to read my Eye of the World pages today. I'm going to film my January wrap up, hopefully get that edited and posted today so that I've got one a week. And then just wait to go get my kids and then have a quiet night at home. I only work 2 days two days and then I get 5 days off because my boss is being awesome and letting me have 5 days off to kind of like mentally decompress with all the stuff going on in my life, which is really sweet of him because my coworker who backs me up has been taking all this extra time off for no reason and making up excuses that aren't actually happening. So yeah, she tried to take off 3 days this week too. And I'm like, not going to happen. I'm taking 5 days off. Sorry. So after I work Saturday and Sunday, then I'm off Monday through Friday, which is going to be interesting and weird. I haven't had a vacation in a while, and this is kind of like a pseudo vacation, but even still, hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done, watch a whole bunch of VR. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is my little update. I'm gonna go film now and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, happy Monday. I've been really shitty at vlogging this week. I only have 2 vlog clips so far. It's just been really busy, really chaotic, a lot of stuff going on, but I have been reading. As for the Sundown Motel, what I updated last time, like 100 something pages in. It's all I've done because I started the buddy reads. A Ladder to the Sky. I'm not grabbing the books. I'm being really terrible. A Ladder to the Sky, I am 146 pages in, I believe. We may be reading more today because I fell behind because I didn't read yesterday. So if Vicky says she's going to read more today, then I'll catch up to her. And then The Wheel of Time, I'm about 50 pages in, and I'm supposed to read more, but honestly, I don't have the drive to pick it up, and it's not the book's fault. It's my fault. It's one of those things where I've got so many other things on my mind, and this is a very high fantasy, very epic high fantasy, very slow moving, that I just don't have the patience to read it. Like, and they're Bible thin pages. Like, it seems like one chapter takes 10 years to read because I have to read slower. Meanwhile, like my Ladder to the Sky pages, I read those super fast. I read them in like 30, 45 minutes this morning, maybe an hour. I read like 50 pages and it was like no problem. And it was because it's just so engaging. I'm so engaged in what's happening. And with The Wheel of Time, nothing's happened yet. Granted, I'm only 50 pages in, but it's very slow to go and it's very epic fantasy. And I know it's a lot of people love it and it's a favorite, and I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more, but if it doesn't, I may just set it aside for now and pick it back up with Cindy later so that, you know, pick it up when I'm in the correct headspace to actually read it. Because right now I'm not feeling like I'm in the headspace to read it. It's just like one of those where it's like I feel myself having to force myself to read it. And then I end up reading it even slower than what I normally read at. And then that drives me nuts because I'm moving so fucking slow and I shouldn't be reading that slow. You know, and then I get distracted, and then it's like, well, I'd rather watch ER than force myself to read this because I've already read all my other stuff for today, and I have laundry to do, which I'm doing right now. Like, I have stuff I need to do and stuff more that I'd want to do more than pick that up. And I've always said I'm never going to make reading a chore. If it feels like a chore, either I need to DNF the book or I'm not in the right headspace to read it this time. I need to pick it up later because it's, you know, in this instance, I don't think it's the book's fault. It's a me problem, but we'll see how it goes. Because, I mean, he's very descriptive, but he's laid out a little bit of the groundwork. We've met what I know is the main character, Rand. Like, we've met a couple of main characters or names that I've heard, like, Murphy talk about or whatever, so I know they're important, but nothing's happening, and I know I'll have to talk to Cindy about it. Hopefully, I'll talk to her about it today and see what she thinks and maybe pick something else up to read together instead, and then set this one aside for now. I know she's got the entire series. I only have book 1, so it's not like this is the end of the world. But I had piles of books. Like, I pulled all the books I want to unhaul off my shelf so I could film an unhaul tomorrow to post on Friday. But then my husband, thinking he was being helpful, he like cleaned up a little bit in our room and removed some of the clutter, which included the like 7 bags of books. No, it was not that big. Maybe it's like 5 or 6 bags of books that I had set to donate, which included the bag that I just pulled from my shelves that I was going to use for my unhaul. So now I'm going to have to go down into our storage unit and get that before I film tomorrow. But he was trying to be helpful. And then he gave me a whole bunch of crap about it. He was like, oh, so you're going to go back down there and get it so you can film a video. He's like, and then it's going to sit up here for months until I take it back down. I'm like, no, I'll take it back down. And he was like, no, you won't. Let's be real. He's probably right. But yeah, so I at least pulled that, and now there's some holes, but then I realized as I was moving the books that I have stacked on the shelves, like into the actual, I'm like, okay, I don't have that much space now because and looking at the piles that I have, because down here, like, I keep my currently reading, I have my TBR pile that I pull from, and then as I finish, I make a stack, and I'm like looking going, oh, I didn't really make all that much room. But there's still room. Like, now my, like, Hannius trilogy books are, like, in the shelf instead of, like, wedged and stacked. So I'm still buying new books when my tax return comes sometime this week because there's a lot that I want. And I've removed pretty much everything off my shelves that either I've read and didn't like, haven't read and honestly have no interest in it anymore. And, yeah, all the rest of them are either ones that I need to still read but I still want to read, or my favorites or books that I've read that I want to keep. And Matt cleared a spot over by the window, and he was like, oh, maybe I could get a small dresser for myself. He's like, or maybe another small bookshelf. And I was like, I never say no to another small bookshelf. Why don't you go ahead and get one of those? You don't need a small dresser. Your 2 drawers in our dresser is just fine. Like, I obviously need more room for my books. That's way more important. But yeah, that's my little update for now. Gotta switch laundry here in a minute. I hate doing coin-operated laundry. That's the one thing I hate about this apartment, is that it doesn't have its own washer and dryer hookup. Where I've actually only lived in one apartment that had it, and I've only lived on my own without living with my parents. Matt and I have only been in one house that we rented that obviously had a washer and dryer in it, but every apartment we lived in besides one, the one we lived in, it was years ago that we were living in that apartment when I got pregnant with Danielle. Yeah, that one had a washer and dryer hookup, and it was heaven. And this one doesn't, and for how much we fucking pay for it a month, it should. And it's decent size amount, or size-wise, where they probably could have. I mean, there's 2 bathrooms, and they could have there's ways they could have done it. They just didn't. And, I mean, granted, the coin laundry, it doesn't cost a lot, but there's only 3 washers and 3 dryers, and there's 13 units. So if you go down there and they're all being used, then you're fucked. But I try not to be a dick. I only do one at a time. So, like, what I'll do is, like, when I've got my clothes in washing right now, when I go to put those into the dryer, I'll go and put Lucas's laundry into the washer. So I'm only using 1 washer and 1 dryer, and it's continuous. So it's just one at a time. So that's all I'm using. So there's 2 washers and 2 dryers for somebody else in the building to use. But there's a couple of people who live here who are fucking dicks, and they'll go do all their laundry in one day and take up all 3 washers, all 3 dryers for the entire day. And I think that's just a dick move. Like, if you're living in an apartment like that, and, you know, I think it's just common courtesy to leave at least 1 dryer and 1 washer open for somebody else. Because what if your kid gets sick and pukes all over everything and you want to wash it right away and you can't because the lady down there has decided to wash every single article of fabric she owns that day? And you're shit out of luck sitting with, you know, vomit clothes or vomit bedding until, you know, she decides to be done. And I just don't think it's fair. I don't know. I think it's bad manners. So I go take it a step further and only use 1 at a time. So, you know, I'll just use 1 washer and 1 dryer continuously until it's done. It may take me a little longer to get things done, but I mean, honestly, it only takes a half an hour to wash and about an hour to dry. So it's really not, and I'm right here, you know, I just come upstairs and read or play on my phone or watch TV. So it's not, and I've got nothing else going on today. It's my first day of my 5 days off in a row, so what does it even matter? It's not like I have a time constraint. But anyways, I don't know why I just went on a tangent for like 5 minutes about laundry. Like, does anybody really care? Probably not. But I guess this is a vlog, so that's what you get. But yeah, and I'm going to go back to watching ER and waiting for the close. Like, I guess I should read some more of The Sundown Motel. I just haven't yet. And when I'm in laundry mode, I don't like to read because I have to stop to go, and it's easier just to pause a TV show. Reading is different. I'll probably read more of that later because I'm still really enjoying that one. But so far, still loving The Sundown Motel. Hopefully going to continue read a little bit more today. Already read my pages for Louder the Sky. Absolutely loving that book. It is amazing. His format of writing is just so different. And it's not formatted the same as Hearts, but it's still a different kind of formatting. It's not your traditional formatting. It's hard to explain. It's like Maurice, who is the main character, who is the one that, steps on people to get where he wants. The story's never being told from his point of view so far, and we're 150 pages in. The first chunk was told by this author that was Maurice's mentor, and Maurice has really screwed him over. So it was his point of view, and then there was like an interlude that was from the perspective of Gore Vidal, who is a famous author of Yore. It was from his point of view and Maurice coming to visit him and like what he thought of him. So it really had no bearing on Maurice's life per se, but it was an interesting perspective, a little interlude. And then the section we're in now, part 2, is from his wife's perspective. So apparently Maurice is married now, and there's been a 10-year time jump from the interlude and the first part. So that's interesting. So that'll be all from her point of view. And then there's another interlude. Not sure what that interlude's about. And then there's a part 3 and then the book's over. So, excuse me. So it's interesting how this is written, where you never get Maurice's perspective. You're just getting the stuff that happened and how he's acting and everybody's perceptions of him from other people's point of view. And I find it very fascinating so far. So I'm curious to see how this goes. Really loving it. His writing is gorgeous. Absolutely love John Boyne's writing. Vicky's also loving it so far. It was funny, as I'm filming this clip, my phone told me that I have a message from her, so I need to go look at that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Like, I just want him to write more books, because I know he put one out in 2019, but it's YA, and it's I love his adult books. They're just so fucking good. But yeah, that, and then The Wheel of Time. Not sure if I'm going to continue reading it. I may just put it off until later, till I'm in a better headspace, because I don't want to DNF The Wheel of Time without giving it a fair shot, because I haven't given it a fair shot. And, but I also don't want to force myself to pick it up if I'm not actively engaged and enjoying it. I want to give it the fair chance it deserves, because it is so well loved and it is so popular, and it's one of the OG fantasy series. And I think I'm going to love it once I get into it. But even Cindy and I were talking about it. We're so used to the Lycanius trilogy and how fast-paced that was. And it's got a lot of confusing shit and a lot of world building, just like The Wheel of Time seems to have. But it moved at a breakneck pace. It was like, it kept me engaged because there was always something happening. So maybe it's a bad idea to go right from that to this, which is way slowed down, more old school. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll check in either later today or tomorrow. Because tomorrow I'll end the vlog, because tomorrow will be Tuesday. So I'll check in and see where I'm at and all that. But yeah, hopefully I'll get an update later today with more reading, if not tomorrow. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So I'm ending the vlog now. I'm gonna also have to pull all this together, edit it, and try to get it up today if I can. Was gonna film today too, but I think instead I'm gonna go day drinking with my best friend, because priorities. Yeah, because if I try to film today, I was like thinking about it, I have to go down to the storage unit and get the damn book so I can do the unhaul, which I can do, but I can also do that tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, like I usually do on Friday, where I hurry up, film, edit, get everything up on Friday, because, you know, procrastination is the most fun thing ever, and I'm a real good pro at it. But this is to wrap things up, so, excuse me, reading. Okay, reading. A Ladder to the Sky. I am 200 pages into this. I'm buddy reading this with Vicky at chapter 32. Loving this, but also hating it at the same time. This is, it's like one of those stories where you can see, you can kind of tell what's going to happen next, and then it makes you really pissed off. Like the section I read today, I already read today's pages, I just knew. I knew what was coming. I mean, it actually hasn't gotten there yet. I think that's in the next couple of pages, but I could tell where it was going, and I started to get angry because I'm like, that motherfucker. Like, I started getting pissed off because I knew what he was doing. Ugh. Like, the main character in this story is such a fucking twat waffle. He is terrible. Terrible. He's a terrible human being. He's one of those ones that's a complete fraud, and all of his success is based on other people, like from pretty much stealing from other people. Oh God, he is a terrible, terrible human being. And that, like, I think I've already explained how this story is told, and you know, where you don't actually get it from Maurice's perspective, you're getting it from other people's perspective and their perception of him and what he's done to them from their point of view, which is a very interesting way to write it. And I just love John Boyne's writing. He's just fantastic, but fuck, like, I'm so pissed off because I just know what's coming. I messaged Vicky this morning. I'm like, that asshole, I know what he's gonna do. And I just haven't heard from her back yet, but like, oh, I'm just so mad. But yeah, I'm on page 204 of this one. So we only have about, I think we're about halfway now. Oh, we're over halfway. I think this has 300 and something. Yeah, just over 350. So, you know, I've got only about 150 pages to go or so in this one. So we should have this done in like 3 or 4 days. Wow. Dust Jacket does not want to stay on that one. The Sundown Motel. I am only still 100 pages into this. I haven't picked it up in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm on page 102. I haven't picked it up in a couple of days, and it's because of the Wheel of Time. So I've kind of set this down, but I'm going to pick it back up and continue reading it now, because I'm really, really, really enjoying this book. It is very creepy, very atmospheric. Simone St. James is really good at writing atmospheric stories where you can just feel like you're there. She does a brilliant job. And I can, like, feel it, smell it. Like, she just does a fantastic job with making things very atmospheric. But this is a very spooky-ish story. This tells a story of Carly, who is in the timeline of 2017, and Viv, who is in the timeline of 1982. Viv is Carly's aunt. They have never met because Viv disappeared in 1982 from the Sundown Motel where she worked as the night clerk. So Carly in 2017 is trying to figure out what happened to her aunt. She assumes that she's dead, but wants to know what happened? How did she die? Was she kidnapped? Was she murdered? Did something else happen? And there's paranormal elements too. Now, I don't know if the paranormal elements are actually real paranormal elements or if it's something else, because like in her previous, like the Broken Girls, there was a tiny bit of paranormal, but it ended up kind of being explained away. So I hope this one keeps with the paranormal. And fun fact, in the part where I'm at, there is a person in the 1982 timeline who's a traveling salesman who uses aliases every time he stays there. He's a traveling salesman, and Viv is starting to think he's the man that's been murdering these women at random and dumping them in ditches. And in the present timeline, there's the same name that he used in the ledger, saying that they're staying there, but there's nobody staying there. And the name is James March, which to me is a tie into like American Horror Story. Maybe Simone St. James likes American Horror Story, because in American Horror Story Hotel, I believe his name was James. I know his last name is March. James March was the owner of the hotel that, you know, Hotel Cortez, where all the secret passageways and the dumps, body dumps, and then he murdered a whole bunch of people, and he was a very evil ghost. So that's kind of interesting. Like, maybe that's just a nod to American Horror Story because she enjoys it, or maybe I just found an Easter egg that doesn't exist. But either way, I thought it was kind of cool because with it being in both timelines, I'm wondering either if the guy is still around or maybe it's the paranormal stuff. Who knows? Because they've seen some ghosts so far, so I'm really intrigued. I'm really excited. That one is going really good, and that one's a lot smaller. I should have already finished this one already, honestly, but the fucking Wheel of Time, which I'm not going to grab because it's back up on my shelf, I'm officially DNFing it, but I am not DNFing it forever. I messaged Cindy and I was like, I don't know if it's me. I just don't think I'm in the right headspace to read this book right now. Like, I just need time where I can read it really slow, and with everything else going on, I just can't focus. So I'm setting it aside for now, after only reading the prologue and 2 chapters, where she's going to find something else for us to buddy read for the rest of the month, and that's fine by me, because it's obviously not me and my reading, because I'm reading through A Ladder to the Sky just fine. I have no problem picking that up, no problem reading my pages for the day, and with that one, I just don't even want to pick it up. Like, I just don't. So now in its place, I'll start picking up the Sundown Motel again, and hopefully get that one finished here soon, because I really enjoy that one. And the Sundown Motel, I can read at any pace I want, because I'm just reading it with myself. So yeah, that's my little update. That's it. I guess that's my update. That's the end of the vlog. Glad I'm reading. I'm back to reading. I've got some reading done, so that's better than nothing. But sorry, the vlogs can probably be really short. I'm sure I think I only have 4 or 5 clips, and there was nothing fun. Again, we're in wintertime. There's nothing fun ever happening in the winter because there's no sports going on. Danielle has it's on her birthday. She has her player evaluations for softball, and then softball start in the very beginning of March. Hopefully it doesn't start when I'm in Vegas, but more likely than not it will. And so Matt will have to take her to the practices that they have during that. But anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here and supporting me, you know, through this transition, life stuff, trying to get back into the swing of reading. But yeah, my next video should be an unhaul if I ever get off my lazy procrastinating ass and film it. But that should definitely be the next one. But I'll see you guys then. Bye.